Mike asks, as the elected MP for our riding, most of what you will do is focused on the greater Canadian need. What goals do you have to help our riding specifically right now? We'll start with Mr. Natchik.
Thank you, Mike. Right now, our top platform for the Christian Heritage Party is families are trying to make ends meet, and they just can't do that. So families are the cornerstone and the brick that builds the community. And if we don't have strong families, and if families can't stay together and have one parent stay home to take care of the children and to be able to afford the day-to-day needs, then everything else is going to digress because the family is going to affect the health care, the economy, and everything else. So the CHP has a family care allowance where 1,000 Banyanes to conducted a survey, and 70% of those surveys where two parents are working, 70% said if we could afford it, one parent would stay home. So CHP would give a family care allowance of $1,000 a month to any parent that leaving the workplace to go home to take care of their children. Now what this will do is, people are saying, well, where are you going to get the money for that, Jim? If you do the math, that's going to open up 1.5 to 2 million jobs in Canada where one parent goes home to take care of her children. So 1.5 to 2 million people are going back to work. So instead of money going to pay people that are on unemployment, the money is redirected to the families to support the families. Now, with stronger families, what you're going to have is you're going to have safer communities, less crime, less delinquency, staying in school longer, and all those benefits. Thank you, Mike, for the question.
Thank you, Mr. Burrows.
Well, thank you, Mike, for the question. An excellent question, and really cut to the chase. What do we want to do as an MP when we first get into office? Well, certainly I have two areas that are very close to my heart, and I think they're very important for the future of this constituency. One I talked about a few minutes ago is in the agricultural end of things. We are at a crossroads here. If we let things go much farther, we won't have an agricultural base to build back. And I think with what we have as a policy to work with in the Liberal Party, I have something to start with as your MP and something to push for so we can actually find some policies that will work in Atlantic Canada. On the other side, I'm still looking at the small and medium-sized businesses because they have been the backbone of this constituency. You look around Truro, you look around Amherst. The ones that are there for the long haul are the ones that have been there, have some sort of roots in this constituency. And we need to continue to encourage those through whatever programs we can find. We do have a few programs we're looking at when we look at the taxes for small businesses. The taxes for small businesses will continue to decrease. We look at some of the opportunities for family-sized businesses to start. One of the great projects we have in the Liberal platform is the Green Renovation Project. That will encourage people to renovate their homes and make changes to their homes that make them more energy efficient. That won't just happen on its own. It'll happen because small businesses are set up in the communities to take care of that work.
Thank you. Ms. Robinson?
Hi, thank you very much for the question. Like Mr. Burrows, I believe that small businesses are the way of the future for around here, and the NDP platform is very much encouraging of the small businesses. We also are very much concerned, and so am I, about the poverty of everybody, or the general population here in the constituency, and our NDP platform has ways of eliminating that, or at least reducing it as much as possible. We're looking to be able to create sustainable jobs. The thing that I am most interested in is how we can have some sort of public transportation, or at least a study of how we can get people moving from the rural areas staying in their homes, but being able to move to bigger centers for their jobs, but be able to sustain their rural way of life. So that is my push, as well as the reducing the poverty. I think everything is tied together. If you can have a job that's sustainable and gives you a decent pay, enough that you can support your family, but to be able to maintain your home where you want to live, is the most important thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Blanche?
Hi, Mike. Thanks very much for the question. It's hard for me to choose one thing. There's so many things that I want to change. It's the reason I'm sitting in this chair. But I mentioned earlier 15% of Canadian children are living in poverty. The Green Party has an approach for that, which is a guaranteed income to ensure that no families are living in poverty any longer in Canada. It's not acceptable. Now, it will be expensive, and I can't talk about where the money comes from so much, but I want to point out that taking people out of poverty, it takes a big burden off the health care system. One of the leading causes of health problems is living in poverty. We have to address the climate crisis, especially where we live at the Bay of Fundy on one side and the Northumberland Strait on the other. We have rising sea level. We have to first meet our commitments to the Kyoto Protocol, and we have to go way beyond, and we have to do it now. We don't have time. I'm sure you all have seen what's going on with coastal erosion. We have to move towards proportional representation in our government. We have to make sure that your vote counts, whether you choose to vote for any one of us sitting at this table. You should have an opportunity to have representation in the House of Commons. So we'd like to have a referendum on that. And we need to promote local economy. If we're going to deal with climate change, if we're going to meet our Kyoto commitments, then we have to focus on our local economy. We have to have family farms. We have to have local business. And while we're looking at our local community, we have to stop fracking. We have to stop hydrofracking in our community and all across this country. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Armstrong.
Well, Mike, this is a great question. It's one that I'm very excited about. We need to have jobs in these rural ridings, and Cumberland, Colchester, Musquodoboit Valley has a huge opportunity in several fronts. But I'm going to talk about one tonight, and that is we can turn our riding into a green energy superpower. With the investment that we've made in the tidal power project in the Bay of Fundy, we have opportunities with geothermal in Spring Hill. You've seen the wind farms we're developing on Nuppy Mountain. And also the opportunity of clean green energy coming to Nova Scotia up through our riding from Newfoundland and Labrador. An investment in the Muskrat Falls, Lower Churchill Falls hydroelectric project is pivotal to the future of this region. It is probably our best chance to provide clean green energy to get us off coal-fired electricity. When we have all of these combined clean green energy suppliers pouring into our riding, this will allow us to have stable prices for electric power. This will make power rates lower and stabler for the average family, but it will also give us a competitive advantage for our businesses with lower power rates and more stable power rates, allowing those businesses to come and settle here because of this advantage. That will mean more jobs for everyone and a better economy for the future of this riding. It is the best opportunity we have, I believe, over the next generation, and I look forward to engaging in that and making sure we deliver that for Cumberland, Colchester, and the Musquodoboit Valley.
Thank you very much.